Alrighty, good day, how you going? Let's take a look at what's cooking up on Australian Reddit lately. Let's have a peek. Alright, I'll drop the horrible attempt at an Aussie accent. So, first of all, a little bit of a weird one, a confusing one. Since when do we have to pay for blood tests? Now, of course, why would I be familiar with Australian, medical bills, Medicare, that type of thing? My very limited knowledge of it, of course, is that yours is, well, a lot better than what I'm used to over here. Yours is, in theory, paid for by taxes. So when you go get something done, walking in, it's paid for. Yeah. I can't relate to that. I don't have that here. But this person in Australia went in and they were charged $164 for blood tests. Now, I'm assuming they're kind of confused and or disappointed because this is probably something that should have been like free or super cheap. If you have any ideas, shoot them down in the comments. Some people mention, did you have a referral? Is it for standard testing? If no is the answer, then a fee could apply. And some people are saying that they had some blood tests done and had the results that were free. And then some had bills that they actually had to pay for out of pocket. So it's a little bit confusing because it's all over the place. Some people say it depends on the type of blood test and where you get it done. So that's kind of frustrating just because that makes it a little harder if that's the case, right? Then you got to figure out where to go and, that you want to get good care, but you also want it to be free, right? And then this person mentions that same as ultrasounds, mine used to be all bulk billed. Now they're $60 to $120 out of pocket. Medicare is failing. So, I mean, that's a bold statement. I don't know. You guys will have to tell me. All I have to say from my totally non-relevant perspective from over here is paying medical bills sucks. It's freaky and it's terrible and there's nothing fun about it. And I don't wish that upon anyone else. So my hope is that this does not continue to be a thing. I'm rooting for y'all. Maybe there's more to the story here, and there's nothing to worry about. Now, this next post isn't just uniquely an Australian thing. This is a thing over here, too, and I totally agree with the OP here. This is annoying. So, as you see, the title of this one is, Please Just Stop Using QR Codes for Menus at Restaurants. I know it's a new thing, but it's worse than self-service at checkouts. The last thing you should be doing at a restaurant is getting your phone out and trying to use some terrible app. Is it just me who feels this way? No, it's not just you. This is definitely an annoying thing. I get the, hype and wanting to stay modern and, some digital aspects of life seem cool in theory. And if they're done right, then they can be pretty enjoyable. But yeah, QR codes for menus, digital menus, that's one that falls flat. I don't like it. Thankfully, I don't encounter it too much, but there have been a handful of places in the last, I'd say at least 2 to 3 years where it's really popped up, where you walk in and you're like, where's the menu? You get seated and there you see the dreaded just little sticker, usually taped to the table, or maybe it's, in some sort of holder or whatever, and it says, scan this for your menu. That was, I remember the first time I saw one was probably like 2021 or 2022, and I was just not thrilled about it. And of course the app, like they were alluding to, it was actually kind of laggy, kind of bogus. It's just not a fun experience. Make a cool looking menu and don't fix what's not broken. Then we also have a pretty well thought out answer. This person says what they should do is offer both options. Some people don't want to use phones out at dinner. Others might want to because they can enable accessibility features. What we absolutely shouldn't allow is needing to use the QR codes to create an account and order instead of ordering at the counter. And honestly, that's probably the most intelligent answer, the most reasonable answer for this. Someone points out totally the opposite thought that I had. This person says a lot of the apps are shitty, but I love just being able to sit down and order. More power to you. I totally disagree. But you know what? That's kind of the beauty of this, is people will have different preferences and even different points that maybe someone else might not think of. So, I don't know. Tell me where you stand on this. I'm not sold on these yet, but I don't know. Maybe they're better. Now, this is a fascinating post. This one's titled, A U.S. Journalist Asks How to Start a Fight in a 60s Aussie Pub. So we're going way back for this. And I don't know what this is about. sounds kind of interesting. Let's take a look.
Way to get in a fight in an Australian pub.
Just turn around and drink your beer out of your middy or schooner, whatever you're drinking. Turn your glass upside down, and that's it. You challenge everyone in the bar.
You ever seen it happen?
Yes.
What's the quickest way to get in a fight in an Australian pub?
Just turn a bloody glass up, fella, like just like that, but I'll get some in this, I don't want to waste the beer.
Well, I reckon the quickest, there's two.
I mean, hey.
The quickest, I'd say.
Hey, that's a good bloke right there. He doesn't want to waste the beer. He's not even going to demonstrate. I agree with that, man. Okay, so that's 2 for 2. Turn the glass upside down. I'll be honest. I feel like, I don't know where I would have known that from. I feel like, I guess that seems like a universal sign that maybe you're kind of pissed off or maybe you're not afraid of nothing. Like, I'm going to turn the glass down and, slam it down. I don't know where I would have known that from. It's not something I've ever done. Keep in mind, I'm also remarkably not very well experienced in bars or pubs. Basically, if I ever wanted a drink, I've always kind of just drank with my family and friends, and usually at someone's house. I just never went to the pub a lot. So I honestly, I'm kind of a fish out of water when it comes to pub culture and, norms and kind of behaviors and, signals, stuff like that.
Hearing other people's conversations. And secondly would be a difference in opinion as regarding sport. The main thing.
Well, you just call me a
Ooh, difference in opinion in sport, fighting words, huh?
name and you'll just see how quick I can get into it. I've never been in one. Drink somebody else's beer.
Left hook, the first bloke you sail on.
Drink someone else's beer now. Even I know. Yeah, that's a risky act there. You drink someone else's beer, well, you're asking for trouble.
Alongside you.
No, sir.
First bloke you say alongside you.
No,
Wait,
sir.
what?
Drink somebody else's beer.
Left hook, the first bloke you say alongside you.
What's there to say about that? Left hook, the first bloke that sits beside you. Well, yep, that's one way. That's one way to start a fight.
No, sir. We're in Australia and you fight backwards.
Hey?
Best way to get in a fight in a Sydney bar.
Sydney bar, huh? What do you mean?
You know a way to get in a fight in a bar.
In a bar, huh?
Yeah, bar.
In a bar, huh? You mean a red, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is funny. I get what's happening here. I forgot for a second that the reporter is American, and he keeps saying bar. And I think most people here are not going to, obviously not used to saying that. It's a pub.
This way is down Woolloomooloo.
Turn your glass upside down.
What?
Well, there's only one thing to do with a scientific hypothesis, and that's prove it. I think I'm a little skeptical of this business of hands up on the bar causing a fight, and that's what I'm going to do is check.
Oh my God, what is this guy doing? Yeah, I'm American, but that doesn't make me automatically agree with this guy. I think this guy's a little bit of a wahoo. Oh, wow. We'll never know what happened.
What's the quickest way to get in
That was interesting. You gotta tell me down below what happened when those cameras cut. I love how the top comment is Woolloomooloo. He was struggling to put a sentence together, but he got Woolloomooloo out perfectly. Boy, take me back to this time. This is some interviews from 1977. I believe these are uni students. Take a look at this.
$43 a week. $15, $14 goes on rent. I pay $8 food, and then there's gas, electricity, phone bills, and transport costs, food, sort of when I'm out at uni.
How much would you have left over from your absolutely essential expenditure?
I suppose about 8 or 10, which has to go on, stationery and books, and books is the main expense.
With incomes like that, it's easy to see why most students are opposed to the reintroduction of fees.
Now, I wasn't around in 1977. I obviously know that, well, at least it seems like your money went a lot further back then than it does now. We are in absolutely loony circus times right now, if you ask me. When it comes to how much things cost, it's freaking nuts. That being said, I understand that this definitely seems like not a lot. Like, I don't think, of course, that girl's not rich. Like, she's not making tons of money, even for the time. But it is pretty mind-blowing to see, or to hear, I guess, what things costed. $14 for rent, $8 for, what was it, food for the month or whatever. Like, what? Dude, you walk in, it seems like you walk into anywhere to go to the bathroom and it's $8. It's crazy, like, to compare price differences in the last literally any amount of years, even in the last 5 years. Things were legitimately cheaper 5 years ago compared to right now.
Totally against any government-administered loan scheme designed to either replace allowances or to supplement them.
The 91,000 Australian students currently receiving allowances under the Tertiary Education Assistance Scheme, commonly known as TEAS, are already unhappy with their financial lot.
Okay, so obviously that's pretty mind-blowing, right? Take me back. Look at this top comment. Someone already generously did the math here. And sure enough, I know people didn't make as much back then. People love to throw that argument out there. No, we live in sucky times for money. Listen to this. Inflation calculator says $15 of rent. It's actually 14. She corrected herself, but let's say 15, right? $15 of rent is $99.33 these days. Now, of course, I'm about 99.9% sure these are Aussie numbers, like Australian dollars. Food costs $53 present day, which would have been $8, like she mentioned in 77. That $10 left over gives them actually $66 today. Not bad when you consider how much of everything else is taken care of, and this is pure allowance separate from income. The overall income of $43 a week is about $285 today. No way could you live on that equivalent amount today, though I'm sure some scrape by with less. That's what I'm saying. $285 to try and make it through a whole month of all your expenses. I'm sorry, there's nothing to talk about. Like, that's not happening. I mean, that is literally mind-blowing. Median weekly income for men in 1977, I'm assuming this means like just men as a whole, even grown-ups, not like college kids, was $191 weekly income. Again, I don't know how people had families and houses and went to the pub and all these things on well under $1,000 a month. It blows my mind. I bet people had no idea back then. If you would have shown them the prices that we're paying now, boy, would that be a hard pill to swallow. Now, this is a pretty funny post with a funny top comment, so look at this one at a time here. Someone needed the bog roll, clearly. Yep. I mean, we are in crazy times. Didn't I just say that? So I can totally believe this. Tomorrow, Kleenex Complete Clean Toilet Paper, 24 scratch that, 23 pack, $13.50, now $14.99. Savings you can see. Yeah, that's 2024. That is way too accurate. Now, this is always sad to see. This happens everywhere. We have someone catching a sad reality, a change in a product. Maybe this is a product you know. You have to let me know. These are just unsalted peanuts, store brand, in this case being Coles. As you can see, the older bag here, marked as Australian unsalted peanuts. You have the Australian stamp of approval there, especially this one with the green and gold kangaroo, product of Australia. That's a symbol I've come to learn very well in products that you have generously sent me. That means it's Australian. Of course, now the modern version, whenever this came out, this is Coles roasted unsalted peanuts, and look, it's the same bag. They make it look exactly the same, but it's missing some key features. Now it's roasted unsalted peanuts. It's not Australian unsalted peanuts, and it's missing the 2 stamps of approval that you want to look for. They are now made in Vietnam. So as you can see, it continues on the back. It looks the same, and they might fool some people. This is pretty awesome. This curious yet wild Maggie decided to sit on my leg. It was just pecking at my skin and socks. Completely wild bird flew away when I moved. Just very curious. And as you can see, there it is. Just sitting perched right on their leg. I imagine they were pretty calm. I would be a little freaked out, but to each their own. It looked like a friendly fella. You're a Disney princess now. Maggie chicks are awesome. Goofballs. All right, just a very quick, very, very Australian pick. We always have to throw at least a couple of these up there every episode. Every tourist nightmare. That's the caption of this one. So if you're queasy, look away for a few seconds. I'm going to let you just sink your eyes into that. See what's wrong here with this picture. That does look like a nightmare. My God. And then we'll be looking at a couple more from different Reddits. I always like to throw some wild cards up there. This is from a Reddit called, it's kind of fun actually. It's called Explain Like I'm 5. And it's just that. Layperson friendly explanations, trying to make topics easy to understand. I think they're kind of fun. And I want to see what they came up with for this one. Why does Australia have so many weird creatures compared to everywhere else? And let's see what they came up with. One reason is Australia is completely isolated. All the rest of the world is or was recently connected in an evolutionary time frame. Since they were all connected, many things evolved or developed on a similar path. Australia disconnected from the others on a much earlier timeline and had longer to evolve animals in a different way. I think that's a pretty good way to actually wrap it up. You had all these things that had to, be independent and survive and evolve way, way, way earlier. So they're just further along than everywhere else. And, it could be a mix of that and geography, right? How just the land is, how the terrain is, where it is, in relevancy to, the jet streams and equator and all these things. Yeah, of course, it all plays a part. Someone also points out that why doesn't New Zealand have some weird stuff like Australia? Wouldn't they fall under those same categories? And someone points out New Zealand actually does have a lot of funky creatures. In fact, New Zealand was the last place that humans colonized. Before people showed up around 900 years ago, there were not even any mammals in New Zealand other than the ones that could swim. Unfortunately, humans brought with them rats, dogs, and later cats, and blah, blah, blah. Basically, to round that up, invasive species started bringing extinction to a lot of things that they had there. New Zealand still has big flightless birds that you won't find anywhere else. The rest got ate, which is probably why they aren't as famous as Australian animals. So that's actually a pretty cool summary of that. I never really thought of that with the whole New Zealand spin on that. Australia, as you've heard probably a million times, very unique place, especially when it comes to flora and fauna. And finally, we'll be looking at a couple from What Could Go Wrong. Australia edition. This lady is talking to a koala on the side of the street. What could go wrong? Let's find out.
I'm trying to talk a fucking koala. It's about to fuck her day up, and I am about it.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
Get him! Get him!
Oh, my God. That's actually horrible. She fell backwards hard. A little koala did that. Jeez. I don't know. That might have been an actual drop bear. I love the top comment. Wait for it. That's one way of getting chlamydia. Going down an 89-degree incline in Australia. What could go wrong? Badass rig, by the way. Unfortunately, I feel like it's going to get a rough time here. Oh, my God. Oh, way too fast. Okay. Oh, jeez, dude. What did you think was going to happen? That was a wicked drop-off. That is one I would not want to be attempting. Say what you will. To be fair, they seem to make it down the incline just fine. Their gear was even waiting ahead of them. Ain't that the truth? Apparently, this is called Gunshot Creek Crossing. The old telegraph track, Queensland, Australia. But hey, that's going to be it for this one. These are always fun, so I do hope you had fun with me and enjoyed this one. I appreciate you being here and watching. I can't wait to see your comments on this one. And most of all, just go out there and have an awesome weekend. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.